The next thing that we want to do is create a primary key. Now, a primary key is, as a best practice, created on every table. It's not required, but it is a best practice. And it's designed to give us a value that will uniquely identify every single row inside of a table. Now, just like before, our primary key is going to create an index. Now, we actually set up the primary key on the table. We're basically setting the option on the table level. So you are going to notice that at the end of the table declaration that we're going to say constraint, give it a name, primary key, and then the column or columns that we want as part of the primary key. And we'll do the exact same thing with the existing table as well, just again using add. So if we kick back over to our Management Studio, once again we've got our existing database here. We'll add on our primary key. So alter table DBO customers, add constraint, PK for primary key, customers, customer ID, primary key, and this is going to be just for our customer ID. And then let's go ahead and do the other one as well. Let's go ahead and say alter table DBO orders, add constraint PK, orders, order ID, primary key, and our order ID. Okay, and let's just put in a real quick carriage return, and let's execute that block. Looking good. Then let's come over here to our existing table, and I'm going to say constraint, give it a name, PK, customers, customer ID, primary key, customer ID, and I'm going to do the exact same thing down below. Constraint, PK, customers, whoops, not customers, orders. Let's remember the table that I'm in. Order ID, primary key, order ID. All right. Looking pretty good here. Now let's close everything off by creating our relationship. That, as you might have sort of figured out, the relationship that we're going to be creating here is that each order must have a customer. And the way that we enforce this is by utilizing a foreign key. That a foreign key is a column that points to data inside of another column. And that other column could exist inside the current table or inside of a different table. Now, the column that we're pointing at must be flagged as either unique or as a primary key. Now, once again, if we're going to be creating this on a new table, this is going to be done at the table level. So it's going to be constraint name, foreign key, and then all the local columns that are going to point to the other side. Then we're going to say references, the other table that we're pointing at, and then the columns on the other table that we want to point at. If you're adding this to an existing table, you're going to notice that the syntax is basically the same. Again, alter table, add, and away you go. Now, the last little option that we can provide when we create this is what happens if we, in our case, deleted a customer. What happens to their orders?